Hey guys, welcome back. Today I'm going hiking deep into the Koh Chang jungle to climb over a 600-meter tall mountain and reach a viewpoint with some amazing views over both Prau and Salak Bay. I'm starting at the southwest corner of the island at Kloi beach, which we skipped last time, so I thought I would check it out before starting the hike. Morning guys, it's 6:30. I woke up very early because I'm going on a hike, but before that I wanted to show you one beach that we skipped yesterday, but it's still way too early to do it justice, as it's only 6:30 and the sun is still too low for the beach to really shine. But I will definitely come back later for a proper walk, as this is easily one of my favorite beaches on the island. I parked my car here at the corner by Kloi beach when there is some free parking space and started walking from here. You can drive all the way to the start of the trail, and looking back at this decision, I would definitely drive there if doing the hike again, as this is not a short trail and skipping those extra kilometers of walking would have been a huge relief at the end of such an exhausting day. So this is the entrance to the trail that I'm going to take. I'm going to I'm not sure if I'm going to make to Mount Salak Phet, but definitely there is a little viewpoint close to that one that I would like to get to. It should be about 2-3 hours of jungle walk, and you can drive all the way through here at the end of this road, but I didn't want to do because you can see clearance is a little bit low and I have a kayak and everything, and I still didn't want to leave the car in the middle of the jungle because there will be nobody. It's much better to leave it on the main road next to the beach. So let's start. I will leave the links to the Strava recording that I'm doing in the description below if you are interested. This road isn't actually a part of the hiking trail. The official trail starts a little further down the main road, and I will be merging into it after crossing the river shortly. What's interesting is that this road was meant to connect the southwest with southeast and complete the loop around Koh Chang. Right now, if you want to go from the one side to the other, you need to drive all the way around the north, which is a detour of about 50 kilometers. But they never finished it, and the project was abandoned long time ago. They did build a bridge over the river and then an additional 500 meters of road after that, but then the road just ends. The bridge has since been washed away along with parts of the road, and today it looks more like a rough dirt track. Still, you can drive all the way down to the river. So first sighting of the river, and now we're going to follow the river for a little bit. So this is where the trail actually starts, the one that I will be following. I'm using all trails. I found a trail that goes to the top and back from the Salak Phet. And there's supposed to be a bridge, but it's collapsed. So I will cross the river and follow the path that hopefully will be there. If not, we still have the GPS and can follow the road that is on the old trails. I crossed the river eventually, so now we're joining the proper trail. I believe this is the trail I'm supposed to follow. So that's the way we have to go now. Okay, carry on. Leaving the road behind, I started following a well-defined but flat trail that runs along the river. The jungle here was alive with noise from every direction, though there wasn't too much to actually see, so I just kept pushing forward. Seems some dried up river. We carry on this way. Eventually I stumbled upon this massive nest, definitely one of the more unusual sights along the way. A big pile of sand, which looks like ants or termites. Yeah, there is some termites in here. This turned out not to be so special, as I kept seeing piles like this everywhere along the trail from here on. Not all of them had termites inside though. So following the river a little bit, for a couple of 100 meters, we came to a fork. Left side goes back to the river. We're not going that way, but this looks like there is another walk. You can go down to the valley following the river, but we're going to the right. That's the track I'm following. This is where I left the river behind and started heading deeper into the jungle. The scenery changed quickly and soon I entered a really cool section filled with towering bamboo trees on all sides. It instantly felt more epic and definitely the highlight of the hike so far.
Alright guys, about 4.5 kilometers done, I think over 4.5, and that's roughly about the midway. There is these majestic bamboos all over me. They are towering to the quite high, and I still haven't started the ascent. It's pretty flattish in here. I have about 4.5 kilometers to go, and I walked for about 1.5 hours, a little bit longer than that. So that's the current update. So I keep going on. The track seems to be well defined, no problem following it whatsoever. Alright, carry on. Internet is dropping out, it's only 3G now, but acting more like an OG. But I can follow the track without the internet anyway, so let's carry on and see how long it's gonna take to get to the top. I think at least 2 hours. Okay, so the ascent now start, and it's quite steep. No joke, it just go like 30 degrees up, and I have like 3 kilometers to go like that. Good that I have plenty of water.
I brought along over 4.5 liters of water. Better to have extra than run out, especially since I stop everywhere to film, which makes the hike take longer. A little further on I came across this interesting looking double tree right at the entrance to a small rocky open area on the left. It felt like the perfect spot to launch my scouting drone and check how far I've made it so far. I have a big hill still to go and I am already quite far from the shore. But there wasn't anything except trees anywhere nearby. From here the progress started to slow down with all the uphill climbs, but I still had plenty of time. After crossing a small stream, I could hear the sound of a tiny waterfall below.
I can hear a waterfall. So there is a little waterfall down there. I don't think there is any accessible way, so I'm not going there. I just had a little peek and carry on alongside the track.
Just around the corner I came to another little flat rock platform, this one offering a nice view.
It looks like a nice viewpoint.
You can't see very far from here, but after 2 hours deep in the jungle, any view at all feels very welcome.
Looks like we found another waterfall in here, and our trail is going through the waterfall, so let's see what this is all about. Our trail is going this way, but I think I'm gonna check out the waterfall first.
This little waterfall was an absolute godsend. By this point I was drenched in sweat from head to toe, so I didn't even bother taking off my clothes. I just threw myself straight in.
That was pretty cool, yeah. That was very nice, I needed that. I was sweating. Now I am all wet but refreshed. So now we carry on alongside this little creek. Now to the top.
Refreshed, I continued along the path by the small river, eventually leaving it behind. A few times I wandered slightly off track, one of them being right around this waterfall, but you can't really get lost here. After 5-10 meters, the overgrown vegetation and vines make it impossible to go further, so I just pulled out my phone, checked the road, and within a few steps I was back on the trail. This large centipede was pretty much the only notable animal I came across. Other than that, it was mostly just countless spiderwebs and little lizards everywhere. No snakes, no monkeys, though I could hear them up in the trees, and only a few big birds leaping and flying off from the canopy. That was about it. After about another hour of steadily getting higher and higher, I finally reach a crossroad at the base of the mountain.
Alright guys, I think here is the fork. This one goes to the viewpoint to the top. This one goes to the other side, I believe. So we're going this way to the viewpoint first, where I will take a well-deserved break. Because I'm knackered. Ooh.
This last section was definitely the steepest part of the hike, almost a scramble. I had to use trees to pull myself up, and in places where there weren't many, somebody had even installed a rope to help. As long as it's dry, it's not too difficult, but you still need to be careful here. One slip could end the hike very quickly.
Yeah, this last section is very steep, and you don't want to slip in here. That would not be nice. There is some rope.
Eventually I made it to the top, where the trail narrowed and leveled out. Even though there was still no view, this ridge walk along the mountain was easily my favorite part of the hike.
So this is the mountain that leads to the viewpoint. I'm at the top, there is no view, there's lots of trees. Some spots where you can get a little sneak peek, but normally you don't see much, and we have to carry on towards the end. But it is pretty cool to walk here. It is also the steepest section at both ends.
At the end, I had to steeply descend, and about 100 meters further as I left the mountain behind, I finally reached the goal of today's hike. A rocky viewpoint perched on the narrow ridge with stunning views of both the southwest and southeast side of the island.
Alright guys, so that was like 6-7 hours. I already spent half an hour here, a bit relaxing because I was sweating, but yeah, we made it this Salak Phet trek, and it was pretty epic, I will tell you. It started very innocent, but then slowly, very slowly it started picking pace. You still think, yeah, it will be nothing, but the steepness keep increasing and increasing and increasing until you get to this big mountain. That's where it gets completely insane. It just go like that. But yeah, my favorite part was this little mountain that you have to cross to come to this little viewpoint area. But that mountain really reminded me the Black Myth Wukong. I don't know if you played the game. There is the little section when you go on top of the mountain, and I got the same feel from this mountain. Very epic. And yeah, I arrived to that viewpoint in here. Nobody here, absolutely nobody. Beautiful view. It's a little bit cloudy in the distance, but in here it's perfectly fine. So back in there is a Bang Bao, the pier that we've already seen. And on the other side, on this one, is the Salak Phet Bay. This is where I'm going now. So what I'm thinking is going back to the Salak Phet in there, stop at the Bae Waterfall, should be one waterfall, and then maybe I will try to get back through the Galaxy area. There is a path marked on the map, but it says like it's closed. But this one was marked as a closed as well, so I have no idea. And yeah, this was pretty epic trail and absolutely worth it, all the effort. Even though we get a little bit steep towards the end, I don't think it was anything crazy. Like, for like 95% of the time, the path was very well defined. So it's just follow the path. And for the remaining 5%, when you occasionally end up in a spot where you have no idea if you are going right. Just look at the phone on either Strava or all trails. On Strava you have the heat maps, which will basically show you tracks that the people follow most commonly. So it will basically concentrate and show you the most common path people use. And it is the most reliable that I use. And on the old trails I found a track that was exactly this one. It's in there under the Koh Chang trails, but that one didn't tell me to come here to this mountain. According to all trails I should just carry on to the next one. So at that point I decided to abandon the old trails and just follow the heat maps from Strava, which show me to come here. And even though the Strava shows that this is a dead end, because as you can see in here behind me, this is really a dead end. There is no more track in here, there is just trees, and I don't think anybody is going to try to get through this. So we will have to backtrack now and then carry on to the Salak Phet Bay area. It was an amazing day. I know most people probably won't come to Koh Chang to do a hike. It will mostly be a beach holidays, but if you are into hiking and you have one day to spare, then this Salak Phet trek was pretty epic. Most of the forest was like a European forest, but except with some exotic palm trees. Okay, I will sit down here a little bit, fly the drone, have my lunch. I already eaten a little bit as I was drying, and yeah, I will start heading down. Weather is perfect today as well. I was very lucky having quite a few days in a row like this. That's all from this Salak Phet trek. Definitely recommended if you are into hiking. Gonna chill down a little bit and we will move to the next one.
By the way, I did not continue towards Salak Phet and instead returned the same way I came up. I did try to follow the path at first, but it was so overgrown, it was clear nobody had used it in a long time. On top of that, my phone was low on battery, Strava showed no heat maps for this track, which alone was a huge red flag, and I was already too tired to take on another mountain. In the end, turning back was the right call as my phone died halfway down and I was completely exhausted by the time I reached the car. It took me a solid 2 days to recover from the hike, but today, finally able to walk again, I am back at the Kloi beach for a little walk. It's the calmest beach on the island, south-facing and sheltered by Bao Bay, making it perfect for swimming and kayaking. If you walk all the way to the end, where the beach meets the rocks, and keep going, you will find yourself inside the Grand Laguna resort without paying the 100 baht entry fee. Just keep in mind that during a busy periods there might be a security guard here who might either send you back or ask for a 100 baht to cross over. Anyway, since I'm already here, let's have a look around the parts that I didn't get to explore last time before heading off to try and find a nearby waterfall. Grand Laguna Resort has a nice stretch of calm white sand beach, usually with nobody around. I took a short stroll down the road to see if there was anything interesting, but apart from two abandoned looking houses, a half-broken shelter and a small roundabout to turn around, there wasn't really much else to see here.
So there is a small waterfall here as well. It's called Prau Talay, and I'm not sure if I'm gonna find it, but it should be about 400 meters here up from the Galaxy ship. So let's give it a try.
The road to the waterfall is supposed to start just behind the security checkpoint, but since I kind of sneaked in today, I didn't feel like showing my face there. Instead, I decided to slip in from the little dug-up area next to the gate, climb up above right here, and then rejoin the path to the waterfall from there.
So I think I found the way to the waterfall. I would not expect a road like this in here, so let's see how far it will go like that. Yeah, looks like we are on the right way.
Here is where the road ended and it was time for a short jungle walk again. First I had to cross the river on this bridge made out of rocks, and then it was just about 200 meters of easy trail. only tricky section came right at the end, where they'd even set up a rope for support as it was quite uneven, but I made it without even switching my Crocs into off-road mode. The waterfall itself was very lovely, not the biggest, but it had a charm of its own, and I could not wait to jump in for a swim.
There is a little pool in here, you can swim right under the waterfall, but it's very tiny, nobody here. Very nice waterfall.
I spent some time here on my own before another couple showed up. I even tried climbing under the water, but it got too slippery, so I didn't push my luck. From below, the waterfall don't look that tall, but if you check from above, they are actually much longer and higher than they first appear. And in case you are wondering, this spot is only about 400 meters from the Grand Laguna Resort main road, where the security checkpoint is located. It might not be the most popular waterfall on the island, but if you've already made it to the far southwest part of the island, I would say it's definitely worth a visit. Today we are doing Bae Waterfall, which I missed previously, but I'm not going the usual road that leads straight to the waterfall. Instead, I'm going on a little mini hike from the other side of the hill. So I will have to go up this hill and then follow the riverbed to the waterfall itself. It should not be very far, about a mile long, and then we will return from the usual side. So the entrance to this little mini adventure is right in front of the Bae Viewpoint, about 20 meters. There is an entrance to the Sylvan Resort. So this is where I park my car, and I'm gonna start my mini hike from here. It is a very hot day today. I got a couple of bottles of water. So let's get going. I don't think it will take very long, maybe 2 hours, but you know, like with me, probably end up with 4 hours instead. Alright, let's get going. We have a waterfall to see today. So this path leads to the top of the waterfall rather than its base. The first section is an uphill walk across the open field with the Bae Viewpoint behind you. A little further up, the jungle begins. At first it might look impenetrable, but if you can't see the entrance right away, just keep walking uphill along the edge and you will eventually find an opening. There are several trails here, and it doesn't really matter which one you take. As long as you keep heading east, you are going the right way. I found even better and wider trail which was marked with a plastic box tied to trees, and it was very easy to follow. Locals also maintain these trails because they run water pipes along it, and I came across them about halfway in. From here I will just follow the pipes until the river appears. I am about halfway there, and the jungle is pretty dense, but the path again is pretty well defined. You can clearly see somebody's been here and chopping down the vines to make it passable. So now I joined these blue pipes which were mentioned in the guide that I'm actually following, and I will just follow these until we hit the riverbed. No snakes, just a couple of lizards and quite a lot of spiders. Also quite a lot of mosquitoes around my feet. Interestingly enough, they are not interested in my arms, even though I took a short sleeve. But I have long pants, so all good.
You can see and hear lots of monkeys. They are about 10-15 meters in front of me, and it's just making lots of noise. I'm getting pretty close now. I should hit the riverbed any time now.
It turned out to be more of a small stream than an actual river, which was perfectly fine with me since I had to follow it anyway, and even then the progress slowed down from here as walking alongside wasn't exactly comfortable, but I still somehow managed to stay out of the water, for now. Shortly after that, the little stream merged into another one, forming a small river now, and suddenly avoiding the water was no longer an option. So I embraced it instead and started walking right in the water.
Hi guys, I now reached the river. I have about 150-200 meters to go, and I just need to go in the riverbed. It will be fun going like this.
After just over 2 hours and about 700 meters in total, with 200 of that spent following the riverbed, I finally reached the top of the waterfall. It was taller and more impressive than I expected, so high I could barely make out the bottom. There were faint traces of a path on the left side that looked like it might lead down, but it was steep and wet with little to hold on to, so I wasn't keen on risking it. Instead, I took a break, sent the drone up for a look, and saw just how massive it was. Easily 15-20 meters tall. I even spotted a few people swimming in the pool below. But since I could not see a safe continuation of the trail from here, I decided not to risk it and instead backtrack the same way I came, and we will go check out the base from the other side.
So I backtrack from that waterfall exactly the same way I came there, and now I'm going the proper way. It wasn't as clear to find it because I took the main road and that was not the right way, so I had to return back and took that little dodgier one, smaller road. There is a parking fee, 40 baht, because you're basically leaving your car on somebody's property. And now I'm following the little trail. Should be 200-300 meters before we get there.
And while this trail wasn't very long, it turned out to be much more adventurous than expected, with a few obstacles to overcome along the way.
Seems pretty steep to go to waterfall. There is a rope, so at least something. The road from this side is not exactly that much different than the road that I choose to take from the other side. Because as you can see, I still have to go to the water, unless I'm going the wrong way, but hopefully that's not the case. And I think I'm close. I think it's just around the corner should be the waterfall itself.
Almost there, just had to pull myself up this rock first, which turned out trickier than it looked. But I made it in one piece, and since it was already late afternoon, there was no one else around. The whole waterfall was mine to jump right in.
guys, I made it. Nice deep, quite tall waterfall this one. I don't think I would be scaling it down, even though there is a path. You can see there is some rope and even some wine. But yeah, I just better to detour than slip somewhere. So that's the Kai Bay. It was a little bit hard to find. It looks like this little pool is artificially made. They just poured concrete in here, in there as well, to make it a little bit deeper. So that's the Kai Bae Waterfall, another one done. And we carry on. And I think that was the last one on the west side. So all the other waterfalls are on the east side. Anyway, beautiful waterfall, time to go back now.
And that's all from today. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye!